Hi, it's Rahim. Calm Finance, no hype. Today's episode 6 of our series, Stickman Edition. Today's episode is Playing Safe is now becoming the new normal. Let me start with a scenario that we all have either expressed ourselves or we have seen it before. You have a job, it's a decent job, you get normal pay, but you complain every single day. You go around, complain about management, you complain about everything else, but you're not doing any action. Instead, you just go around do something what everybody does, which is you get yourself a new car, you get yourself a new place, you buy some new amenities, and then you're wondering, why am I still stuck? If this sounds like something you've experienced, especially you high net worth individuals, stick around to see what we're going to do, discuss about this particular topic. If you're new to the channel, welcome. For the previous members, as we know, we have 4 quadrants. We discuss everything in these 4 quadrants about specific topics for each week. And today's topic is becoming stable or avoiding risk is becoming a new normal. Let's see what is it. First quadrant, as always, is identity. Rational, stable, don't take reckless risk. Correct? As we discussed, you have a stable job, you feel good at night while sleeping, you get every your paycheck, every 2 months deposit into your account, you are relaxed, you are not uneasy. So now, what happens? Suddenly, when you get an opportunity to do a commission role, your mind starts to thinking, why should I do this? Correct? Why should I risk my stable job to do this something which might or might not work? And as we know, in commission, especially in Canada, most of the time is 100% commission, right? There's no salary, nothing is there. So what you sell is what you're able to eat. That's it. Nothing in between. So then what we are thinking is, why should we risk this, right? Correct? That's what we're thinking. Why should I risk my normal stable job to pursue something like this, which might or might not pan out? Correct? This is what's happening when you form the identity. You are confusing volatility with danger and predictability with security. Again, you are confusing volatility with danger, predictability, or being predictable income to your stability. This means you think if you switch this role, it will be volatile, it will have uneven amounts of payments, it might not have any payments, so you avoid doing that. And you're thinking that you have a stable job, it's predictable, which is more stable, right? So you're confusing these two parameters. So then what happens? Second quadrant, decisions. New car financing, longer lease, a nicer apartment or building. Correct? Because now you have a stable job, your mind is free for financial stress. So we do what everybody does in Canada or anywhere in Western country. We go ahead and buy ourselves all these new luxuries that we call in life today, right? Because in your mind you're thinking, I have a stable job, everything is going fine, I can afford the payments, this will increase my status. And if you're in Western countries, status is currently becoming the number one thing, more than, I will say, looks or even money, because status gets you access to most of the things that we can't get with just looks or money, in my opinion. Correct? So then you're thinking, okay, yeah, I can do this. And then again, if an opportunity comes around for either a commission role or a startup role or something that you really want to do, like passionate about, let's, for example, our YouTube channel, right? Your mind is running only one calculation. Why should I leave this stable job? Is it worth it to follow all this thing and risk my stable job for something that might not work out? Again, right? Mind is the same calculation we discussed before. Same calculation happening every single time in your mind, because your mind is now on a stable, calm mindset, correct? That is what you high net worth earners specifically think that just your mind is doing. So what happens? Third quadrant, which is pressure. corporate, peer pressure, internal comparison, lifestyle signaling. As we are know, this common corporate pressure means how to corporate provides us with rewards by being consistent, right? That's how they say it's called a factory worker machine, right? You have to be consistent. You just do what needs to be said, do what needs to be done, and that's what rewards you, right? Corporate culture. Peer pressure, I think is very obvious. We see someone else having a brand new car, living in a brand new place, going to a brand new vacation. We want to have this. Peer pressure. Internal comparison. We compare ourselves to people that we see on Instagram Reels or any other social media platform because we're seeing the best of their lifestyle and we're looking at the worst of ours. So we're always asking one question. Let me know if this is very common. I should be more successful at this stage of my life, right? That's what the main issue is with pressure. This all started, as you might have seen or you might have observed, with you just being stable, with you thinking I have a stable job, I complain about my job, I don't like the management, but it's at least stable, right? But now you're building all this pressure and everything, correct? That is when it starts to happen. That is when it starts to becoming a problem, which you don't realize it until it goes to next quadrant, which is the most critical in our series, which is second order risk. These are avoiding volatile opportunity, skills remains narrow, income plateaus, excellent at lower growth function. If you might have not guessed, these are all the things that we think is good, but you know what the worst part is? These are all very low skill set, and that means now you're stable, but that means in a corporation mind, you are easily replaceable because your skill, your lower mindset or lower level, your income has been plateaued, you avoid volatile environment, so you can't take on risk or new projects. You are not flexible to move around different teams or different environment because you want to stay with a particular team. You become an expert, a domain expert, as they say, right? In your niche, but you don't have the idea of the whole picture. And then what happens? As we know, welcome AI. As it's coming for all of us, especially if you develop this. Now, what you have done is for your stability, you let go of your volatility, you let go of the important years that you had in your life to struggle or to hustle without not too much of downside risk financially. But now you have set yourself to a place where you are easily replaced by AI. And we know, especially you, high value individuals, if the corporation is to cut someone, it's going to be on the very top. And the white collar people, white collar jobs, they're also the first to go. Correct? We don't think like this because we think the first is going to be the truck drivers, automobiles, food service worker, right? Restaurants or another fast food, right? We think of that way. But we don't think that AI is also going to replace white collar job as well. That's why they're saying it is very important to not become wallet, to not become stable or not become completely fixed to your environment because AI is coming for all of us and it will come to get all of this. And the first will be affected are these people that are in this category right now. Now you're thinking, oh, I might be one of this category, right? Be all of this category, correct? So we're worried. I think, what should we do? Should we change everything? Should we switch out everything? Should we like leave the job now? Should we start everything else, right? Take a breath, calm down. We don't leave our audience without an action plan. Here are 3 action plans that I suggest that you, specifically high net worth individuals, can focus on to test whether you're ready for this change. Let's see the action plans. First one is create a volatility buffer. This means having 6 months of your fixed expenses in liquid form. We also call in financial term emergency funds. This is not for you to feel safe. This is for you to give yourself permission to go out and try new things without risking the ability to become homeless or get into bad financial spiral. That's what that fund is for. That's why it's called volatility buffer, not emergency funds. Second one, run a side income stress test. 90 days challenge. What does this mean? This means, as we all have heard, do a business or some commission role on part-time basis. That means you don't leave your full-time job, but you do some sales, you do some different projects, maybe start a channel like this, and then see how you react on the situation. What this happens is, then you don't have to worry about your income falling down, and you can actually test your theory, whether you are built for this. Because let's be honest, we all want to be entrepreneurs, we all want to have control of our time, we all want to do all of this. But as we know, a very few percentage of people can actually succeed doing this full time and be prosperous. For most of us, unfortunately, the news is we are not much meant to be entrepreneur. We are meant to normally be a business, working for someone businesses. But what we can do is we can test ourselves when we have the time and opportunity right now, before AI completely takes over, to see if we are built for this. And if we are not, we can make ways to see how we can improve before it happens to us. Right? Third point, cap fixed lifestyle growth 24 months. Pretty obvious. This means you don't go out, get yourself a new car, you don't go out, get yourself a new apartment, you don't go out for a vacation, you don't do any of the lavish thing. You just cap your fixed expenses, fixed lifestyle expenses to 24 months. This will first test your principles or your patience to see how you react when you fix or cap everything. Second, it will tell you how disciplined you are. Because if you're not disciplined enough to just cap your expenses for 24 months or 2 years, and I know it seems long, right? Well, if you're not disciplined enough to even do that, imagine how you're going to succeed in business when there is no cash flow, maybe for some months, right? How are you going to manage that if you can't even cap your own expenses for 24 months? Now, for my closing thoughts, my belief is we don't get stuck by a job. What we do is, as we all of us do, we start a new role thinking this is just a step in our new way. We want more opportunities, we want to have more options, we want to have more financial upside. But along the way, probably I think I've seen in my life, in my experiences, close to 2 years mark, we start to confuse stability with predictability. We start becoming much less risk driven, aka risk averse. We start to think, oh, this is good, this is stable, why do bother to do all of this, right? And we lose that spark that we had initially when we started this new role to become something better, to become something new. So that's why we all get stuck in this environment. I have been there. Most of you that are seeing that have been there. Everyone, I think most of us can relate to this. But the good thing about AI is it is forcing us to get out of the comfort zone, because as you have seen, layoffs are actually happening and it's just the beginning. Block, as you know, has laid off 4,000 people without any notice, correct? So that is happening. That is forcing all of us to learn AI, to see if we can do something of our own, generate alternate income, do something to test ourselves out before we are stuck in a place where UBI becomes common, and then we're thinking we are stuck forever, because that is going to be a new reality. So wake up, high net worth individuals. You might be safe for now, but maybe not too long. As you can see, my t-shirt says, must know the guy. Frontman, let the game begins. So let the game begins, people, and let's see where the chips fall. Once again, thank you for listening. If you like the video, please like and subscribe to the channel. Show us your support. Provide us your comments. And as always, it's Rahim, Calm Finance, no hype, signing out now. Thank you.